Blackheart's a sweaty player's wildest dream, hijacked and raid are back. Oh, and there's 20v20 maps now apparently. Black Ops 7 definitely comes out swinging with the multiplayer map roster this time around. Hey, it's Cobra here to save you all from the paid, dishonest sellout opinions out there on games, movies, and shows. Topic of discussion today is Black Ops 7's multiplayer map selection this year. As you probably know by now, in Call of Duty's longtime history, not all maps are created equal. A few of them will have you addicted for hours and realizing you stayed up way too late for work the next day, and others will have you thinking, you know what, maybe I will hold on to this frag grenade after pulling the pin.
His head just exploded!
So in today's video, after my 40-ish hours of Black Ops 7 multiplayer, I'm gonna give you my rankings of every multiplayer map from worst to best.
Nobody asked for that.
I don't care what you want!
Just FYI, all remakes and gunfight maps are excluded from the list. Only the standard 6v6 maps are eligible for the video here today. And also be sure to go check out my Black Ops 6 map ranking video and my top 10 all-time Call of Duty map ranking videos as well. All will be linked in the description if you are interested in that. Also, before we move any further, as always, I want to thank all 2,400 of you that have subbed to the channel so far. We've kind of stalled at the 2,400 mark recently, so if you enjoy videos about games, movies, and shows, maybe consider hitting that sub button to get the ball rolling again towards 3,000. Either way though, I highly appreciate the support given to the channel so far, and I think it's time to rank all of these Black Ops 7 multiplayer maps from the bottom of the barrel to the top of the mountain.
Number 12.
I gotta confidently say, I enjoy a lot of the maps that Black Ops 7 brings to the table this year. I wasn't expecting that after the really below average set of launch maps last year in BO6, but Flagship does come in at the bottom of the rankings, and one of the only two maps that I don't really like in COD this time around. I remember thinking the first time I loaded this map, how bad could a map inside a giant gorgeous aircraft really be? Then almost instantly I got head glitched by a guy who blended into the ship's underbelly like he's been welded there for decades. It's not even just the constant head glitching either. Want to talk about a map that gives very repetitive game flow? Then look no further than this one. Every single match I've played on here, and I mean literally every single one of them, has everyone running right at you in a straight line. There's no other way of going around on the side or any kind of flanking tactics whatsoever. I mean, yes, the two very close side lanes can flank the middle. What I'm saying is there's no true option to loop all the way around the exterior to get on the enemy like spawn area, is what I'm trying to say, if that makes any sense. Instead, you just have to rush right through enemy territory right on the front lines. I just don't like it. On top of that, I don't even enjoy the center area either. Way too many directions you can be shot from, and it leads to way too much randomness, and it doesn't work well for competitive gameplay. Yes, the map can have its intense, high-paced combat moments, but outside of that, I don't know. Flagship is just one of those Call of Duty maps that's got me questioning my life decisions. Not because it's difficult, but because every time I load in, I either spawn right in front of someone that's been hard scoping me since 1998, or I run into the exact same feeling action over and over again until I go insane.
Number 11.
Exposure might genuinely be the first Call of Duty map in history that literally tells you what it's all about right in its name. Cause yes, you will be exposed. Your position, exposed. Your terrible decision to peek that corner, you're exposed. Your KD and your enthusiasm, extremely exposed. This map right here is the equivalent of saying, hey, what if we by chance added like 79 sight lines into one lane and then we add 90 to this lane? How does that sound to you, people?
That sounds horrible!
Multiple different pathways in the dead center connecting to your path, and don't get me started on the outer lanes as well. If you want to test your luck out there, just understand that there's more sights out there than there is in the Grand Canyon itself. And that's if you even see anyone for a good while. It's not quite red card levels of boring back in BO6 last year, but I've had more than a few instances that I feel like I'm playing a walking simulator like Death Stranding more than I was playing Call of Duty. Really, there's only two slight positive dings I give this map to narrowly put it above Flagship. The gameplay isn't the same recycled garbage that Flagship is over and over again, and since this map actually has somewhat of a decent layout to it, it's a bit too big, but at least they do give you some options here, unlike Flagship. And also, the map is gorgeous and immersive to look at, and for BO7's sake, that's few and far between this year. I haven't been too pleased with a lot of the aesthetic in this game.
Number 10.
Here we are, top 10, and can you believe it already? We're in the above average / solid territory already. Skipping right past the average and below average territory of maps, we go right from pretty bad all the way to above average and solid. And Scar kicks that off for the top 10. I gotta say, Scar has a pretty decent vibe of its own here. It gives you that gritty, worn, damaged looking terrain like a war zone with trust issues, and it's honestly kinda cool. Won't hear me say this a lot on this channel, but the thing that excels most here is its marksman rifle and sniper gameplay. If you're the type of player that enjoys medium to long range gameplay, then Scar is like Disneyland for you. With that being said, I do think some of the areas are a tad too open, which holds this map back from being higher on this ranking, but all in all, it works pretty well, I guess. As a whole, it's bottom 3 still because this map never gave me that "I fucking love this map" kind of experience. It honestly speaks justice to how good the map selection is this year. The fact that Scar comes in this low and it's still pretty decent. I really enjoyed rotating on this map too. Always a weird thing to say when I'm writing a video like this. I don't know, it just sounds weird when you're writing it. Anytime I managed to stay alive, I thought circling around this map was pretty enjoyable for the most part. It's one of those things you just gotta play and experience for yourself to understand. On the negative side, I did run into matches that had plenty of spawning issues, and that's sad to see because that's actually not very common in this game, so I wish it could have been eliminated completely, but overall not game breaking. Scar is a borderline tactical masterpiece at times, but it's wrapped in a frustration burrito. When you play smart and hold down those power positions, it can feel incredible. When you don't though, the map grabs you by the throat and reminds you that you're not as good as you think you are.
Number 9.
The first map landing on this list that I borderline hated at first and now I've warmed up to it a decent bit. Cortex is a visually creative map without a doubt. It takes place inside a futuristic research facility and reminds me a lot of Drone from Black Ops 2 as far as aesthetics go. This one I would say is more of a 2-lane map with a narrow 3rd lane mixed in on the one side. I find both the main lanes to offer pretty good gameplay mixes. The inner lane on the one half with the experimental pods has a window on the balcony for mid-range scoping, and I've been enjoying weaving in and out of these pods in the close quarter battles in this room, although I think this room can be a little distracting visually sometimes, so that's a slight critique for me with all the different colors going on in here. The exterior lanes are where most of the action takes place. That can be both a good thing and a bad thing. The middle can be a little ridiculous at times, especially in a mode like Domination, where it feels more like capture your brain cells back more than actually capture the objective. This is one of those maps headed towards the middle of the pack of the rankings that I don't have a lot of specifics to say about it. It's not going to blow your pants off, but the more I play Black Ops 7, the more I enjoy this one.
Number 8.
Coming in at number 8, Blackheart takes place inside a heavily fortified offshore fortress, part oil rig, part prison, part sweaty kids running around like chickens with their heads cut off from Black Ops 6. Yes, that's my number 1 complaint for Blackheart, because it really does ruin it sometimes. The only map in the game that I consistently run into try-hard weirdos. It's a smaller map, and I know the sweats love these kind of maps, so maybe take an hour or two, run on the treadmill before heading into this one so you can blend in with the sweat fest here. It was at this point of writing out this video when I started realizing that Black Ops officially ditched their map designs from BO6 and went back to the more traditional 3-lane approaches, because here we are again with another one of those. The one outer lane is heavy on snipers, and I found it to be a tad on the annoying side sometimes, especially that one stupid wall that never lets me jump up it the first time I attempt it. The other outer lane has the new jumping walls, and there's a mix of long range and short range action to be had out there, all leading to the middle lane that's alright, I guess. It's just average stuff, nothing really special to say about it. There are definitely some spawning issues to see on this one as well, but nowhere near as much as you would think on a smaller map like this, so again, not game breaking. Also, I didn't find that little room position, that power position, to be enticing to fight over, if you know what room I'm talking about. If you do manage to take that spot, good luck getting shot in the back or on one of those sides out the windows almost instantly anyways. Overall, I feel like this is going to go down as the map that everyone likes more than I do. I'm just not as high on it for whatever reason, which is okay. Opinions differ, and that is why we're here on this channel, because your opinions are welcomed here, whether they're dumb or good or whatever. You're welcome to your opinion.
Number 7.
Homestead. The map that makes you feel like you could take a peaceful midnight stroll through nature and then come back and get all cozy by the fireplace, only to realize you'll be shot the instant you turn your back to smell the good old hot cocoa cooking in the kitchen. I went into this map with very high hopes just based on the thumbnail and the look of it. It just looked different than the others with that nighttime vibe, and I'm all about a rural cabin in the woods and the mountains kind of guy. Will say at first I was mostly disappointed from those high expectations I threw on it, kind of like I did with Vorkuta last year because it was a snow map, but I did come back down to earth and I ended up enjoying this one more than I didn't. Homestead does have that BO6 level of map design here, an outer circle surrounded by a random building plopped in the center, although that design works a little more when it's not every single map in the game, but I do think that design is where my critique comes in play here. The outer circle has almost zero action most matches, to the point I was shocked anytime I actually got in a confrontation out there, which leads to that cabin in the middle being 90% of the gameplay, so that ends up giving you that repetitive type of stuff that I don't like to see and I'm not too interested in. With that being said though, the cabin is one of those rare occurrences that I do enjoy getting it over and over and over again. Just like the spawns don't enthuse me here once again. It's not that you get spawn trapped, it's just the fact that they're so far away from the cabin. Like, why should I walk to the cabin for a good minute almost when there's almost zero chance you'll fight anyone along the way? So yes, the map is stunning to look at and that cabin is very fun more often than not, but don't even bother trying to play the outside circle unless you want to freeze to death from boredom.
Number 6.
At number 6 is the last solid above average map that BO7 offers. The Forge is a map that looks like somebody took a medieval blacksmith workshop and just dropped it into a futuristic war zone. As soon as you jump in, you'll be greeted with plenty of futuristic vibes, and the amount of path choices you get here to approach your attack is pretty good. This is again a 3-lane map, but the one outer lane has almost 2 lanes within itself, so it gives it more of a 3.5 lane type of feel. I think all of these lanes mesh together solidly is what really is the highlight of this one. The upper catwalk like bridges connect you from one outer lane to the other outer lane, and I found it interesting that you can't see the lower middle lane while you're on these bridges. In that lower middle lane, they throw in this rotating cover area that's actually pretty cool. You can duck behind whenever you're being shot from almost anywhere. One thing that I didn't enjoy much about this specific map was the sound design. Very different type of thing to notice in a map, but it stood out enough for me that I put it in my notes. Between all the sparks, machinery at play, and Jarvis talking his nonsense over the intercom, it leads to more than preferred noise that affects my gameplay when I'm trying to be a little competitive. But yeah, really, it's just the sound design and spawns from time to time that I don't like about this map. The aesthetic also is kind of just meh as well, but other than that, each lane has its dedicated playstyles for it, and it all comes together very nicely on the Forge.
Number 5.
Top 5 maps in BO7, here we go. I don't know how it always manages to work out this way in my videos, but it does. All 5 of these maps are good and above from here on out. Starting with Colossus, a map that visually gives me vibes of the Forge and Scar mixed together almost. You get this still futuristic tone to it, but it also has this worn and tore vibe like Scar does. Colossus is just one of those maps that just feels epic when you venture on those exterior lanes. You look around and see the carnage everywhere in the middle of the open water, all while dodging sniper bullets on this lengthy outer lane design. But at the same time, they give you enough cover and escape routes that the snipers aren't too overpowering here as well, but I think it blends well together. I'm just saying. The center power position is what shines most for me on this map. You get a great view of both sides of the middle lane, plus a wide open window to scope out the center portion of the one outer lane. They also give you this fun platform from that outer lane to give players a fun opportunity to jump up there and take over the power position. Plus there's also an underground pathway that connects both outer lanes, avoiding any of the center lane action if you want to. If you aren't into maps that let snipers shine as much as I do on this specific map, then maybe this one isn't for you. I didn't find it to be too overpowering and annoying like plenty of other Call of Duty maps that exist out there. As a whole, Colossus has an epic scale to it, providing you with tons of verticality, long range, and in-your-face action, and it's an easy choice for the top 5 in this year's game.
Number 4.
Den at number 4, a map that feels like every corner and turn can be your last. I guess you could say that Den is kind of on the smaller medium size of things, but it plays very large in a very good way. Why is that? Well, in my opinion, I think it's from all the interior connecting routes that lead to a really good match flow and uniqueness. Like seriously, every room you go into connects to each other, so no matter where you're at, you can attack from any point of the map you want pretty much. Personally, I also really enjoyed the other outer lane with the wall jumping to it, which you will be risking your life out there if you mess up your jump and will fall to your death. More than a few times, I actually had some fun epic battles out there jumping across these rooftops and wall jumping to try to flank the enemy. I will say with most of this map being interior spaces, it limits a lot of the gameplay to these closer range fights outside of that middle area, an area that only the boldest cross. But at the same time, the close quarter gunfights with SMGs, ARs, and shotgun, they hit near peak level for me as far as Black Ops 7 goes, and I think you'll enjoy yourself a lot running around in these interior rooms. Plus, the Asian visuals you get here are a sight to see without a doubt, and gives off a very different tone than the mostly futuristic ambiance that BO7 throws your way a vast majority of the time. If you enjoy maps that get your heart racing and give you some high action aggressive gameplay, then Den is probably the map for you, unlike Colossus, and I think it nails that enough to land at number 4 on the ranking.
Number 3.
Top 3, and if I'm being honest, I really struggled to order these because I think all 3 of them are great. Imprint at number 3 is a map that looks sleek, clean, and I dare say almost inviting until you realize that every corner and hallway is a funnel to your doom. This map in a nutshell is all about tight corridors, elevated platforms, and wall jumping that'll have you either crying on the inside or screaming, "Hell yeah, that was awesome" at the top of your lungs. And let's start with highlighting my favorite thing on this map, the plentiful amount of verticality and wall jumping options you get here. This was the first BO7 match I actually played, and it was love at first sight if I gotta put it simply. I found myself jumping from those planted wall jump spots on the outer lane, dangerously jumping on the giant walls in the center of the map to descend down to the lower lane quickly, and of course that unique platform, you could either wait for it and hope for the best, or set it into motion when players are either hiding from you or you're fighting them. Again, another map that favors more close range gunfights, but there are spots in that center area and the lower lane that allow you to land some long-range rifle kills for sure. The only slight issue I ran to from time to time was the sweats jumping all over the place, and it was a little too much sometimes. But I really can't fully fault the map itself for players just being annoying. And on top of everything I said, we finally got another good snow map in the Black Ops series. If you've been watching me before, you know I'm a sucker for some snow maps. So yes, if you haven't, go check out Imprint. It is a really good map in this game, and it lands top 3 on this list for a reason.
Number 2.
What's better than one good snow map? How about 2 good snow maps back to back high up on this rankings? Retrieval landing in the number 2 spot is a personal favorite in Black Ops 7 for me, but objectively I do think number 1 on the ranking is better in an unbiased point of view, so that is why this is at number 2. First off, look how amazing it is to just look at this map. Between the gorgeous ice cave in the one spawn to the snow-covered forest area all around you, you want to talk about memorable? This map got you covered on that. I love when Call of Duty maps blend everything together perfectly as far as the gameplay goes. Here you get, I would say, 4 lanes if I'm being honest. And again, they add a vertical side of things to each lane as well, just like Imprint. The lower lane is the one I wasn't too crazy about, but the other 3 are a ton of fun. The middle lane has a 50-50 balance of tight areas and long distance shooting options. The wrecked spaceship aircraft thing lane is my favorite one. That leads to mid-range and close range fights, but it also gives you access to that upper middle lane bridge that connects to the middle lane, allowing you to see almost the entire map for some long range kills if you dare go out there. This map just hits, man. No 2 games have ever felt the same for me playing this. Every type of player is invited and has a place to shine on this map in all the different areas it offers, and what you end up getting is one of Black Ops 7's best multiplayer experiences. I'm honestly not too sure how the rest of the Call of Duty community feels about this map as far as positivity goes, but I don't really care. I don't see any flaws in its design, and I find myself having an absolute blast every time I load up for this one.
And number 1.
And the best map in Black Ops 7 goes to Toshin. I think that's how you say it. Another map that's just absolutely breathtaking to look at while you rip through the enemy. And let's just start with that. The neon Japanese shopping market area is just wow. From the very detailed streets to the collapsed monorail straight down the middle of the map, I think this one will be remembered fondly for a long time. But the main reason I think it will be remembered for a long time is its complex and well-designed map layout. I don't even know a proper way to say this. There are 2 main lanes, I guess you would say, down on the streets, but there's a almost 3rd lane, but it ends up playing more like a flank route in most matches. I mean, I guess it's technically a 3-lane map, but I don't feel too strongly calling it that because I don't see anybody do anything in the 3rd lane other than flank. And that flank lane is what I love so much about it, really. They give you a couple sneaky vents to crawl in, and then you'll get the jump from behind on the 2 power position sniper spots. And if you want to keep running past those lanes, it'll lead you straight to the other spawn area for some more flanking potential. Omni movement and their new wall jumping mechanic are highly encouraged here too. Down on the streets, you can jump up almost any wall and get to those 2 power position rooms that I previously mentioned, or you can have some fun doing some wall jumps in that middle monorail area at your own risk. Extremely good balance of all weapon types mixed in on this map too. I previously mentioned those sniper spots in the middle of the map that give a temporary advantage without a doubt. Mid and close range weapons excel at any area of this map as well at all times. Realistically speaking, I think the snipers are a bit too campy at times, and the head glitch spots are a little bit too much as well if I had to criticize. Overall, none of that stuff bothers me enough to lower this map on the rankings list. I could mix and match the top 3 and not complain, but I do feel confident with this one landing at number 1. Toshin is one of the more visually rich and strategically deep maps in Black Ops 7. All style of players belong and lead to a ton of fun that just cannot be missed. Well, there you have it, people. Another year of Call of Duty multiplayer maps, and now you know which ones I think are the worst and which ones are the best from BO7 in 2025. Of course, let me know what you thought of my rankings in the comments below, and while you're in the comments, let me know what maps you've been enjoying so far in Black Ops 7. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content in the future on video games, movies, and shows. Be sure to also go check out my Black Ops 6 map ranking videos, or my top 10 all-time Call of Duty map ranking video. All will be linked in the description for you below. I hope you have a great rest of your day. That is going to be it for me in this one. See ya!